Hello everybody, my name is Lukas Hartwig. I work at the Institute for Transport Studies at the University of Natural Resources and Life Sciences in Vienna. And I will present you Systemcheck, a system dynamics-based learning game for pupils on urban-rural transport interactions. The game was developed together with my colleague Juliane Stark, Paul Paffenbichler, and Karina Andal. So what is it about? Systems thinking is a very useful and essential skill, but acquiring the skill is not explicitly part of at least the Austrian school curriculum. So with our learning game, we wanted to provide a means to acquire this skill for pupils. Pupils do learn about urban and rural interactions and transport in school in the course of their geography classes, but is the knowledge they get rather static, or do they actually understand that it's a dynamic system, and do they understand the behavior of this system? So the age of pupils when they learn about these things in school is 11 to 13 years. So if we make this learning game and we wanted to include system dynamics models, is the age of 11 to 13 years already enough to understand and to work with these system dynamics models? We were to find out. We approached it like that. We developed a two-stage online learning game. The first stage was a quiz to learn the basics or to repeat the subject matter if the subject was already discussed in class. Then the second stage came around, which is comprised of some simple system dynamics models for experimentation. These models were built with the open source software Insight Maker, which is really handy because it's browser-based and you don't have to install anything, and the models can also be easily embedded in, for example, our game. And we also made a teacher's handbook for preparation before playing the game, or then after playing the game for debriefing in class. And our idea was to test this handbook and to test this procedure in school workshops together with the teachers and the pupils. However, because of COVID-19 and the school closures, we couldn't really do that. So when we look at the results, keep in mind that the pupils who tried out the models and who gave us feedback, they played the game by themselves. So without any preparation, without any assistance, they just played it at home. So now when you come to the results. First of all, on the top part of the slide, you see how the quiz part looks. So you have an illustration, then you have a short text, which is part of a bigger story. And then you will get multiple choice question where you have to mark all the correct answers. Then at the bottom part of the slide, you see how the models looked like. In this case, it's a model where you have to decide to construct either bike parking or car parking spaces at a rural commuter rail station. And you have some constraints like the budget, but also the satisfaction of your citizens. And yeah, but you try to keep the model as simple as possible and also like as interactive and playful as possible. So we got some feedback through questionnaires from the pupils who tried it out. And all in all, the pupils really liked the game. So on a scale from 1 to 5, with 1 being the best, those who only played the quiz gave it as a mean rating of 2.08, which is rather good. And those who played also the models gave us 2.3, which is also still pretty good. We can already see that those who played the models struggled a little bit more. So they evaluated the models to be much more difficult than the quiz part. The mean difficulty of the quiz part is 2.5 on a scale from 1 to 5, with 1 being easiest. Difficulty of the models was rated to be 3.8, so much more difficult than the quiz part, and the pupils really struggled with this more. So that's as far as I want to present, and now I'm curious for your thoughts and suggestions. Do you think it's too difficult for pupils of this age group to work with system dynamics models, or do you think that with some preparation and in the workshop, we could have actually made it work and they could have understood the questions? Do you have any experience with that? Well, I'm curious for your answers, and thank you very much for listening.